We've been enjoying milk kefir at our house for about a year now, and we love it. There's so many fun things you can do with it. I've also successfully killed it. So right now I'm going to teach you the basics so that you don't kill your milk kefir grains. First step you want to do is add milk, and you want to add about a cup to every teaspoon or tablespoon of kefir grains. Then you need to cover it. If you cover it with a nice tight lid, it'll start to carbonate. If you don't want it to be carbonated, don't tighten the lid too far down, or you can even just cover it with aluminum foil or plastic wrap. Then you need to let it ferment. If you have frozen or dehydrated kefir grains, then it might take 2, 3, or 4 days to wake it up. So this here is fresh, and I'm going to let this sit on the counter for like 12 to 24 hours. You can actually do up to 72 hours as long as it still has food. And in the fridge, you can let it ferment for 2 or 3 days, up to 2 weeks. Just keep in mind that the longer it sits, the more sour it gets. This one has already sat, and this one is kind of creamy. It has a matte finish on top. This is ready. But this one is over ready. When all of the cream and all of the grains are sitting on top and all the whey is down at the bottom, that means it's eaten all the food. And if you let it sit there for too much longer, it's going to starve. You don't want it to starve, okay? You can see here the one on the left is creamy. The one on the right has run out of food. The one on the right is starving. So you want to change it out immediately. If you let it sit too long, it will die. But if it hasn't died, you can totally revive neglected kefir. So once it's creamy and has that matte finish, it is time to strain it. And I like to use a metal strainer, but I use a glass bowl because they say metal can weaken it. I haven't had any problems with the strainer, but I intentionally use a glass bowl for that. I also use a rubber or silicone spatula. You can use a spoon, but I find that the spatula actually does better at getting the cream through the strainer. And of course, I'll put links in the description for you, so it's really easy to find the stuff that I use. So you just scrape it back and forth until all the cream falls through and you're left with just the grains. Now at this point, some people will rinse the grains. I don't find that necessary at all, unless I'm doing something else with it, like fermenting apple juice or other things. So once you have strained those kefir grains, it's time to put those kefir grains back into a fresh, clean jar and top it off with milk again. Now keep in mind that kefir will grow faster when it has more sugar and when it has more warmth. And sometimes they multiply out of control. So my recommendation is put in what you need and what you're going to use, and then the rest of it can be used in other things like smoothies, or those extra kefir grains can be saved and then you can use them down the road or give them away as gifts, and I'm going to do another video on that. So for now, just take the stuff you need, add milk, and repeat the process. So that's what you do with the kefir grains, but the stuff left in the bowl, that is liquid gold, and you can either drink it or you can do a second fermenting. Now, if you're just going to drink this straight, one of my favorite concoctions is just adding some cinnamon, nutmeg, some allspice, honey, and vanilla. So good. I love it. But if you want to do a second fermenting, sometimes it can get rid of some of the sourness, and it definitely increases the amount of healthy, wonderful bacteria in the kefir. Now, if you're doing a second fermenting, I like to put the kefir into a fresh, clean jar, all its own, and then add sugar, okay? And you can add maple syrup or honey or whatever. I like to add fresh fruit or orange peels, citrus peels, things like that. Those are delicious. Basil even has some good sugars that the kefir can use. And then you let it ferment again for like another 12 to 24 hours. This second fermenting, I like to put in the fridge because it allows those flavors to meld while it's second fermenting, but then it's also nice and cold, which is how I like to drink it. I like it cold. I like to use second fermented kefir to make kefir cheese and kefir yogurt, and I'll be posting more videos about that, as well as how I killed my kefir, how to revive kefir, and all kinds of other kefir adventures. And if there is a video that you would like me to make covering a specific topic, leave those questions down in the comments so that I can get to it. And then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the responding video. Now, if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one.